Hey, on today's Living in Las Vegas, you know when people think of our city, they attach a lot of stereotypes to it. So on today's show, we're going to address Las Vegas stereotypes, true or false. Plus, we've got real quick stories, live chat questions, listener email, and of course, have a drink on me. This is the Living in Las Vegas podcast where if somebody takes a picture like this, that's a stereotype we will absolutely address. Let's get started. Living in Las Vegas starts now. Yes, it does.
About time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. That groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. And now your host, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was. A singer brother Scotty. Mr. Scott Whitney. Oh, man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and you are watching the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Well, I'm your humble host, Scotty Ticklefeather. That's right, Scotty Ticklefeather. What? I've decided to go back to my native name. I'm a Native American. Most people don't know that about me. I'm a white guy. You wouldn't know it, but I come from a long string of tickle feathers. And we changed the name. Why? I got teased a lot as a tickle feather. You might imagine. And Jim was rough for me. But luckily, I'm not alone in my tickle featherness. No, I've got RQS, I've got Drinky Pants, I've got, ladies and gentlemen, it's Brett Grant, everybody.
I changed mine as well. My Indian name is Two Dogs Fucking, but that's beside the point. Great to be with you, Scotty. How you doing?
The best part is you're the first person that cussed.
Exactly. I got my one out of the way as we get started.
Man.
How are you?
Brutal. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Thank you.
Today's over and under. You know what? Okay.
All right. Have we been close last couple weeks? We still have never hit the under.
No, but we're gonna do it today.
The question is, do we want to keep the streak alive?
Well, that's part of my embarrassment is if you bet against me, you'd always win, but not today. Oh, no.
All right.
Today, our over-under is 90 and a hook.
90 and a hook, so an hour and a half.
This is my longest.
5.
My longest over-under ever.
Right, you're adjusting the line, as they would say.
Yeah, because
you're trying to attract equal action on both sides.
That's exactly right, because I suck.
You're not a good bookmaker, no.
And I keep looking at these outlines and going, we don't really have a lot to say here. Next thing you know, let's throw out email because we run out of time.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's jump into our main topic today, which is. It doesn't really matter if you got.
We're not messing around. We're going right to the main topic.
Right to it, baby.
Our real quick stories have been pushed back to really long stories after the main topic.
That's right. That's right. The feedback was, I'm like, hey, I like to hear about your main topic, but it's 45 minutes to.
Really? Somebody's complaining about that?
I've got a couple of those.
All right. That's
actually,
fine.
Ted gave me that feedback.
Yeah, squeaky wheel gets the oil.
I know, but he gave that feedback to me about a year and a half ago, and I'm like, you know what? He's actually pretty right.
Oh, so that predates me.
Mate. Okay. Yes, it does. It does.
So this has been a you problem all the way.
It's absolutely okay. It's completely my problem. There's no well, hell, I write the outline. Of course, it's my problem. But let's jump right into our main topic, which is Las Vegas stereotypes. Is like I said in that opening video. When people think about Las Vegas, man, they already know everything there is to know about Vegas. Oh, I know completely what's going on in your town. I'm like, great. What do you know? And this is what we're going to talk about today. I actually went on Reddit. Now, you probably don't know what Reddit is, Brett. You're older than I am, and
no, I'm not.
It's for the young kids, and I'm one of the young guys there. So I went on Reddit and said, hey, list out some Las Vegas stereotypes.
You asked the kids.
I asked the kids.
Oh, okay.
And here's what I learned. Most people think stereotypes are the same as misconceptions.
Okay.
And you know what? They are.
Okay.
So that really screwed me up in my list today. So I'm like, well, shit, we talked about this 3 weeks ago. Oh, my God, we did that. Okay. So we're going to try to focus it towards people, stereotypes of people.
Okay.
We're not going to do that, but we're going to try to do that. Okay. So our very first one, with 24/7 drinking, everybody here is a drunk, meaning there's a high percentage of DUI, probably among the highest in the country. I would have thought that as well.
No, because I don't think we have. Have you ever run into a DUI stop in town other than being on the Strip?
Yes.
I've never hit one.
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have.
In the Midwest, they're all over the place.
No, I've had a couple. I've had them a couple times here. Have you ever seen a drunk driver here?
Oh, sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, but here's how I did.
I always think they're the people that are driving about 9, 10, 11, anytime after 9 p.m. without their lights on. They're all drunk.
Yeah.
We do have probably the highest percentage of people driving without their lights on after dark.
Yeah.
That I've ever seen before.
I suppose that is.
I have no idea.
Because they're stupid and
drunk. Both stupid drunks.
Well, so here it is. We're not even in the top 20.
Wow.
Of all the cities here in the United States.
Is that first one? Is that number one in the country?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're now there's a whole bunch of different places that say this, and a lot of the data is a little old, but from what I can gather, we're about number 34.
Which is ironic.
34.
Well, which is interesting because we are about the 34th largest market in the country. I think we're 37.
Is that right?
From a radio TV standpoint, I think we're in the mid 30s. Might have moved up a little bit, but really? 34 is probably pretty close to where we are overall.
Okay.
So you would think maybe, well, because of that, New York would be number one, but a lot of people don't drive in New York.
It's not. So number one, so I'm like, well, so who is number one? God bless California. Right. That's why I left. High taxes. And if you go to San Diego, it's the number one drunk driving capital of the country.
I would have never guessed San Diego.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Unless it's all the people that are leaving the beach after drinking in the sun. And
I don't know. But San Diego's number one, wow. San Jose, California, number two. And then also in California, Los Angeles, not a shock. And San Francisco, not a shock completely.
They all saw their recent tax bills.
Son of a bitch. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't have any water? I don't want my grass to die. Yeah, so actually, we're a pretty safe place. But I've already said this before. I believe that when Uber and Lyft come to town, drunk driving will go down even more here in Las Vegas. I guarantee it.
Uber won a big case in NYC last week.
What did they win?
They won the ability to go out and do their thing, yeah.
Oh, that's great. I think
against
they're
the
great.
taxi thing.
I hope they...
Ironically, I think the largest city left in the country that doesn't allow it, I think we're going to, right? We're going to have it eventually?
Yeah, it's supposed to be by
St.
Labor
Louis
Day.
does not yet. So otherwise, they're pretty much everywhere.
Well, that's good. They just got in Portland, actually. We've got a Portland guy who's going to tell us about that.
Right.
Number two, people here are rich. This couple times this happened in Reddit that, people who live in Las Vegas are rich.
That's why Tuck moved here. Tuck, you're loaded.
It's like one of the Reddit guys says, my friends are super impressed. It's probably because of all the gambling. And that's why people aren't rich.
Exactly. Are not.
It's the very reason why people don't get money here. It's good. Yeah. And actually, this used to be a real problem. And I think it was during the boom. A lot of those people who were losing houses were people who were just habitual gamblers,
right.
And just couldn't keep their houses because they were losing their ass because they forgot the number one rule. Those big shiny buildings are built because you lose.
Yeah, not because you're winning.
The time, right.
I won. Look, let's go to the barrage.
Right. So the next one. Everybody who lives in Las Vegas works on the Strip. Hookers, dealers, valet.
Strippers.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
We used to, Brett and I used to do some
bellhops.
We used to do some stripping.
I was at the OG for a while.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. And the truth is, we mentioned this once before, only 28% of the people who live in Las Vegas are in the leisure and hospitality, which is much smaller than most people expect. But again, you got to remember how many people live here, which is 2.1 million, might be 2.2 million now, in the whole Las Vegas Valley. So of that, 28% is hanging out, probably at the Strip. You have to live close to the Strip. Everybody lives close to the Strip. That's the same thing that everybody thinks about. We happen to live kind of close to the Strip. We're about 10, 15, we're about 20 minutes away from the Strip now, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is close-ish. But I used to live close when I was in Aliante, and everybody thought I was in South Reno.
Right.
So, no, you don't have to live close to the Strip to be working there. Most people don't live anywhere near the Strip. They're all trying to get the hell away. Summerlin and Henderson and Aliante and Centennial Hills and what's that place down Mountain's Edge and all that kind of everybody's kind of grown.
The great thing about it's funny because being on the radio for as long in town as I have, when I first moved here in 96, I came from Chicago, and obviously a lot of people come here from large cities, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of Chicagoans, a lot of people from Los Angeles, from really, really big places.
Yep.
And I'm doing the shopping show, and we're talking about, hey, go check out this Italian restaurant. It's over at Pecos and Flamingo. And somebody's like, oh my God, that's so far away. And I'm going, where did you come from? Oh, I moved from L.A. You can't go 3 miles in a half an hour in L.A., but you can go from mountain to mountain in Vegas at the time in a half an hour.
Yeah,
and you could. You can go from, Red Rock, where Red Rock Casino is now, to Sunrise Mountain. Yeah. You could do it in half an hour. Now, can't do it at 5 o'clock at night.
Nope.
But, I get around everywhere I have to go in town in no less than 30 to 45 minutes. And if you're in L.A. or in Chicago or in New York, those commutes are standard.
Well, that's why I never understood the jokes I got being in Aliante, because we came from San Francisco, the Bay Area. Before that, I was in LA, basically. Right. 45 minutes to go anywhere.
Right.
Anywhere. So to get from Aliante to the Strip, it's about 40 minutes. I'm like, well, it's what I do. It's kind of what I'm used to. But everybody's like, nah, shit. Can we have a gathering somewhere other than your house? I like my house.
It's too far to go.
It's too far to go. How long is it from your place? Oh, it's about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me, you big pussy.
No, I've gone to some of these, my son's baseball games at these newer high schools way up north. Like if you go to Legacy High School, it's basically at the 215 North at like 5th Street, way north, past Aliante. Keep going like you're going to the Speedway, and you'll get off at 5th Street.
Oh, out there.
And there's a high school there. And you're like, good God.
Yeah.
This is so far away.
Yeah. Well,
I'm on the edge of nowhere.
Here's the truth. Now that I live where I live, everybody was right.
Yeah. Well, I have a good friend of mine who moved his family down to Hendertucky like a month ago.
Right.
And he was living up north. So he was probably up where, not quite Aliante, but up there.
Yeah.
And his son was with him, and he's about, same age as my kids. And I go, how's Hendertucky treating you? It's pretty fucking far. Because they're way out there. They're near Lake Las Vegas. He goes, it's pretty far.
Yeah,
not quite that far, but it's pretty far. They're in Tuscany now, I think it's where.
Oh, yeah. We have friends that live by the M down there. And they're like, we had dinner with them on Friday, and the wife's like, we're going to leave.
It's getting to be. The biggest thing about living in areas that are on the outskirts of town is because you have to travel so far to go do the things you normally like to do. If you want to go to a nice restaurant, that's more of an occasional thing. So you don't mind driving to the Strip for that. Yeah. But if you have to go to the grocery store and it's too far to go, and you got to take the dog to the vet, and you got to go over here to the dry cleaner, and you're going farther than you want to have to go than just your neighborhood, that's when you get annoyed.
Yep.
Going, really, I got to go 8 miles to go to the dry cleaner as opposed to a block away.
Yep.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We're in this area that we're in.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Oh, it's very good. There's everything you need is real close.
Pretty good. All right, next one. Most people here aren't very bright. Well,
are they talking about you?
I wasn't very nice. So here's what a lot of people don't know. First of all, there's a whole bunch of people that don't know there's a university here, UNLV. You'd be shocked how many tourists don't know there's a college here. It's actually a couple of colleges, but that's a big boy college, 4-year college. And there's smart people in that college. Not everybody, but there's a law school there. One would hope the lawyer people are good. They're bringing a medical school there. They just got, how many millions of dollars from the state to fund this? 80 million? 18 million?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we got a bunch.
It was a boatload. There's another medical school going to be here, Roseman. They're both going to start in 2017, fall of 2017. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of smart people here. I deal with a lot of smart people here.
Sure.
I deal with a lot of dumb people too, but they are here. So come, say hi. I believe that you're one of the smart people.
Oh, thank you.
And
you are as well, Scotty.
Excellent.
He's waiting for that. It's like you stick.
So we are smart.
On the bet.
I've heard this before when we've had people come visit me. I understand that it's easy to get hookers, prostitutes here. It is absolutely easy. It's also absolutely illegal.
Right.
And easy in that those card flapper people, you can take one of those cards, go to your hotel, call them. That gal ain't showing up. She's not going to
Usually
be
it's somebody that was just an hour or so away from her next hit of crystal meth. And
she's doing this.
She's doing a lot of jonesing. A lot of jonesing. They come to drink your beer.
She kind of
and they're like, "What do you got? What do you got to drink? What do you got? What do you got?"
They have a very bird-like look to them when they're looking around. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, you want a blowjob? Absolutely. What time is it? Hey, yeah. Did you get the money now?
Just check to make sure it's actually a girl. And not a Jenner.
So, no, you can't. There's only one place that you are allowed to have prostitution, and that's in your house if you're role-playing, or you can go to Pahrump.
Nye County. Yeah, you got to get it. It's actually, a lot of people don't realize it, because you usually get that question. What's it like living in a place where prostitution is legal? Well, I don't. I live in Clark County.
Right.
Which is a very big county, by the way.
Well, it's huge.
So it's monstrous.
It's big. But I'll tell you why the confusion is obvious. I mean, when I was a tourist, I would have thought the same thing. Wow, there's all these card flappers here, and it must be allowed. Right. And people are doing it, by the way. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't be doing this. This is supply and demand. They're doing this because people are hiring those folks.
Go ahead.
We had a friend. I have a friend of mine. I won't name his name. I'm not sure he'd want people to know this, but he used to work for one of those a company that did escort services, and he was doing some online work for them. And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, these people are fucking busy, man. They're just I said, "Well, how are they? They good looking?"
Yeah,
not really.
Well, we were over at the Rampart Casino, which I forget what it was called back in the day, but when the big golf tournament comes to town, that's kind of, they use the Rampart and the JW Marriott as a parking area for people who are going to the golf tournament, and they'll shuttle them over to the TPC. So we're out there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, my Rotary Club members and I, and we're parking cars. We get like a donation for helping with this with the Shriners, right? It's like 6:30 in the morning, and here comes out of the JW Marriott two hookers from the night before, and they're just like so strung out. It's just, we're just laughing at them. They can barely walk across the parking lot, trying to figure out where their car might have been and how they're going to get home. And I didn't know how they got there. It's very funny. So if you're hanging around long enough, you certainly are able to identify who's who.
Are you good at that?
Well, I have a bunch of friends who come into town from the effing fam. And they have, there's a couple of guys that like to have some fun, and they always tell me the stories about it the next day. Like, okay, whatever works for you guys. Kind of funny.
I was with a buddy of mine. He was in town, and we were at Venetian, the center bar, and a gal comes up to talk to us. Really, actually, a very attractive woman, and so we're chatting, and she's real friendly. I'm like, look at us, we're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. No.
She. I said I was married pretty much at the top of the game. It just kind of came out. Oh, yeah, I'm married. I'm my wife, whatever. She does whatever. I do whatever. So she kind of focused more on my buddy. And she's like, hey, do you want to, get out of here? I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, and he was pretty drunk. I said, no, I'm cool. And when she left, he's like, that was a whore. I'm like, what?
And you had no idea.
I'm like, what? Are you serious? God, I suck at these things. I really suck.
Yeah, it's when suddenly you're by yourself playing blackjack or whatever you're playing, and some halfway attractive girl sits down next to you, all dialed up, and you're thinking, that's not right.
I'm charming. They might recognize me from the show, but that's a lie.
Exactly.
That's almost not
true.
Okay, number 25 or something like that. I'm not where we are. All strip performers are rich, or all strip performers are poor. We've seen both.
Right.
We've heard both. So here's the truth. Let's talk about how most strip performers make a living. And that's actually pretty much anybody who's in entertainment. It's called a 4-wall deal. And what that means is, instead of the old days where the casino would pay you to be a performer there, kind of like the last person who did that, that was pretty well known, was Frankie Moreno over at Stratosphere. He got paid to be there. But instead of that, what a 4-wall deal is you're paying for the 4 walls. In other words, you're just renting. So the vast majority of people on the Strip, with very few exceptions, and I mean to the highest level, they're basically paying rent. They're leasing the space. What that also means is that they're responsible for all their own advertising, all the marketing. They got to go out to the ticket brokers and talk to those guys. It is a hustle, man. Mm-hmm. It is a hustle. And you got to figure, okay, well, how often do people churn in Las Vegas? It's about 3.5, 4 days is the average stay. which means your advertising has to redo every 4 days or so. Right. So what does that cost? Thousands and tens of thousands of dollars that these people are paying for people to discover them on billboards or those trucks that drive by or magazines or whatever. It's not for the meek, man. And the other thing is, what tends to happen is the folks who are doing these kind of shows, and it's pretty much all over the place, they look like they're rich in that they're doing the red carpet and they get to go to all their VIPs to all these things, but they're not paying for shit.
Right.
And it's actually, I think it kind of screws them up because they have this kind of, I'm making a lot of money, or it feels like I'm making a lot of money. But the truth is, you ask them to pay for something, tick-tock, tick-tock,
yeah.
tick-tock, tick-tock. They got other things to do. And the reason is they don't have any fucking money.
Well, the other thing is, nobody likes to play in front of an empty showroom. So there's a lot of discount houses around, and then sometimes the casino's going to paper the showroom, meaning they're going to give away free tickets.
Yep.
And you probably have to give away a certain percentage to the house, and to the casino probably at night anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, the producer of the show is always going to want to have people there and impress them. And so you're giving away a lot of show tickets.
Sure.
And we're going to talk about a show I saw over the weekend, and I actually sat at the producer's table.
Oh.
I'm thinking these are way too good of seats for me.
Was that? Did you get him from because of the radio station?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we have a couple of shows that we work with that our listeners actually get to sit at the producers' tables, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like when you go to P.F. Chang's, you're sitting in the captain's table. You're actually in the kitchen, like you're inside one of the walks. You're like, I'm right there. It's a little warm.
Right. I'm a crescent.
Exactly.
Or chestnut.
Yeah.
I'm a chestnut.
Is that almond chicken? What do we got going in there?
It's almost as warm as Scott's studio.
Yeah. It is a little bit warmer here tonight. Are you hot here tonight?
Wait, hold on. Let me check to see if it's cool out there.
It is. I'll just keep talking. Yeah. So that's the interesting thing is these guys. I mean, that's the one thing I want to ask him about. Ask Scotty about is the. So you take a person like Terry Fader. Is he not hired by the Mirage, or he is hired by the Mirage?
Yeah, so he is the exception to the rule.
Yeah, there's not many guys that are like
exception to the rule.
I would assume like a Circus Olay, they have so many of them.
That's the other exception.
Right.
So Cirque is also in partnership. However, they're still investing, like that stage for was $250 million.
Right.
So that they had to put money into that to build that stage, right? So there are some exceptions. The big guys are like that, but a lot of the other folks that you're thinking of, they're all four-walling, and everybody.
Which also can be a good thing because if you're really good and you hit it off, let's say somebody who started downtown and then suddenly they became a strip performer. You take a guy like Danny Gans, who started downtown, with the Nugget, then he went to the Mirage, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's hitting it big time.
Yeah.
That guy paid his dues and probably didn't make hardly any money at all, but then at the end, it's like he's making a gazillion
doing real well.
dollars.
I'll tell you who's a good example of four-walling who loved it, and that's Amazing Jonathan.
Right.
So we had him on a show we had called Awkward Silence, the 1.0 version, and we asked him about that. He was super forthright about this. It was fascinating.
Right.
He said, yeah, I'm spending $10,000 a month for a billboard, right by the airport or wherever it was. He goes, but I wouldn't have it any other way because I'm making all the money. It's all mine. Now, this is a guy who was promised $1 million a year gig at Golden Nugget, and they pulled it out from underneath him right at the last minute. So he was a little bitter about some things, but he's like, yeah. And he was over at the place on the Harmon, and I forget the name of it now, before he stopped doing it. But he was like, yeah, this is great. No, all this money is mine. And he was
I know the lady, he used a lady that promoted his show for him. So what you'll do also is you'll hire a company to do a lot of work for you. So you're paying them a monthly retainer.
I bet you
and they're doing a lot of that stuff for you. Yeah, you probably spend $15,000 to $20,000 a month. But if you have a showroom, but if you have a showroom that's even if it's 200 and you're getting 200 people at $100 a pop, or his show is probably $50 to $60 a person.
Yeah.
It's still, you're doing 5 nights a week, and some nights you're doing 2 shows. Yeah, there's nights that are lighter than other nights. You only need,
And there's like this up and down. I see that Chris Phillips is being mentioned in the live chat, and I've said many times that I think Chris is far and away the smartest entertainer in Las Vegas. And the reason is because, and most people who are listening to this show or watching this show outside of Vegas doesn't know what a Chris Phillips is, doesn't know what a Zoe Bowie is.
Right.
But this guy is so smart. It's unbelievable. He came to town. He was a Scottsdale, Arizona guy. the Red Rock folks brought him out to open the casino. They were paying him $90,000 a month to be Zoe Bowie. I think it was 3 days a week, which is a shitload of money, right? And then it all came out from underneath them. The station was bankrupt, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to take it down to 1 day, and we're going to drop your salary down to." It was really small. I won't mention it, but it was small. But he's kind of back again, and the reason is because he's everybody's best friend. He'll be the first to tell you, I've got fake hair, fake teeth, fake tan. He's a 49-year-old white guy doing hip-hop music. He has no right to be doing this, yet he's crushing it today because he's everybody's friend. He's nice to everybody. He's one of those listeners that you're like, well, damn, you're like Bill Clinton, for fuck's sake. I think you really care what I have to say. And he's like that.
Well, Bill doesn't, but that's beside the point.
I know.
Maybe Mr. Phillips does.
He does. Maybe he does. And I don't even care. I actually have told him, you should write a book on how to be a professional entertainer because you're figuring it out. But he had these super high highs. He was doing really well. And then he got the shit beat out of him for a while. And he was struggling. And he's kind of back up again. So it's a hot, cold business if you don't understand the business side of what you're doing. All right, here's the other stereotype that everybody in Las Vegas knows about every show, every restaurant, every bar, every tourist attraction, everything there is.
We're all secretly tour guides.
Well, we are.
Yeah. Hey, I'm coming. I get that all the time. Hey, Brett, I'm coming to town in September. What should I do? Well, I haven't talked to you in 25 years. I don't even know what you're into.
What are you?
How would I know? Let's see, the S&M place is down the street. Right. You've got the, what do you like to do?
Wouldn't it be fun to go, I recommend the green door.
Yeah, the back door.
Tell me how you like that, okay? And I can't go to Sapphire.
How about, Gypsy's right down the street. That kind of stuff. I happen to like going to the Double Down, which is a great dive bar. But if I sent some of my friends there, they go, oh, my God, where are you sending me to?
But see, that's for me.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to give you the real Las Vegas. So I think I am one of... Actually,
we're going to Dino's. We're like, what in the hell are we doing at Dino's?
I've never been to that bar.
I sang karaoke at Dino's with the drunkest lady in the history of the world, and she was all over me, and she had one tooth. It was the greatest thing ever. And and the best part was, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Come here, honey. Yeah. Thanks, babe.
Of course, I was dressed as Michael Jackson at the time.
And why wouldn't you be, really?
Exactly. I really was.
But so I think most people who live here don't really want to do much with the Strip or anything like that. They kind of want to stay in.
No, if you go do some of the cool things that are part of Vegas, you go to Love It Frozen Custard. You're like, there's so many custard, but but you go down to Love It, which is in a terrible neighborhood.
I don't know that
just
either.
Off of downtown, off of St. Louis, and kind of back up Maryland, behind Charleston and Las Vegas Boulevard. It's a little ice cream stand. It's open for like 3 hours a day. They have 3 flavors. Right. Changes every day. I'm not even sure they're still open anymore, but it was a great little place to go to.
Right.
It's kind of like going downtown back when Andres was right there on 4th Street, right? We're trying to find Andres. Right. And you're like, why would I go down here to this
So
place?
my recommendation is really simple. Don't put pressure on your friends who live here in Las Vegas.
Right.
Watch the show.
Yeah, exactly. Watch us.
We'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you where to go. I've told many people where to go.
Straight to hell. I'm on the high. Typically when somebody comes to town, I try to find something that's close to their hotel because most people don't have transportation when they're here, at least the ones I know. They're here for a convention, and they took a cab from the airport, and they're going back and forth. It's like, okay, where are you staying? Oh, I'm staying over at the Mirage. I'm staying at Mandalay Bay. Okay, I'll just meet you somewhere at this place or that place. Yeah, I'm ready for another thing. And kind of go from there so not to go too far.
Most people that visit us stay here.
Yeah, but you're a little unique in that regard.
Why do you think that?
Well, I think because people want to come here and they want to stay forever. Now, we used to have people come stay with us till they broke things, and you're like, well, what happened to the toilet? What happened to the sink? Oh, what happened to the lamp? Really?
We've had a couple people. I'm trying to think. What was the last? No, most people stay here.
Yeah.
Oh, Arches of Whitney Villa. It's a fine bed and breakfast kind of hotel thing.
I think Mark Zuckerberg's scheduled for next month. Is he not? He's coming in.
Good old Zucky. Yeah, Zucky and I go way back. There you go.
Exactly. I'm You're right. I do.
What's
Mr.
that?
Limbo, I need to charge a damage deposit.
Right. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
What we say, you'll get a shot glass, but if you break something, we're taking that shot glass back.
I know. We stay, when we go out of town, we stay with some friends when we go down to San Diego and things like that. You always, people come stay with you. It's fine. You're very close friends with somebody. That's fine. But if you're kind of a casual acquaintance or somebody like a relative that you don't know,
that's different.
It's a little different. I mean, obviously my parents and my in-laws, that's fine. My mom and dad they don't stay with us.
Really?
For the vast majority of the time, my mom likes to play blackjack, so they'll stay at the Suncoast.
Okay.
My dad likes the view of the golf course in the morning because he gets up at the crack of dawn. He looks out the window and watches the golfers. Reads the paper. He falls asleep about 9 o'clock. My mom goes downstairs and she plays blackjack. So they love it over there, and they're 5 minutes away from the house. I go pick them up for breakfast and bring them back, and we hang out with them all day. And then after dinner, you guys ready to go? All right, we'll take you back to the hotel.
Wow.
And that's fine, and everybody's happy.
We don't have. We don't really have many not close friends visit us. If we have people who are like in town, well, then they'll be in the hotel.
Right.
But most people who make arrangements with us, we know them well. They're good friends with us. But by the way, we have a new contest. If you're the best person in the world, a 2-night stay at Arches of Whitney Villa.
2-night stay. The hard thing is you feel like you always have to be entertaining them the whole time.
Yeah.
We have to go do stuff. You got shit to do.
Well, so
you're at home and you've got stuff to do. I got to go grocery shopping. Now I got guests coming. I got to clean the house.
Yeah.
And then when they're here, you feel like, well, I can't sit at home and watch my Thursday night show I always want to watch.
Right.
Now we have to go out because Joe blows at the house.
I get that. I
don't like that.
I get that. Okay, next one. Next stereotype that all of us who live in Las Vegas are good gamblers. So let me tell you how many times I've gambled since I've moved here. I moved here in August of 2005. I've gambled exactly 0 times.
Really?
Haven't gambled once.
You're awesome.
And it's not. I just don't do it because I know how it's going to go.
Well, if you treat it as an entertainment dollar, like you would spend $100 out to dinner.
I'll tell you something.
Or you're spending $50 at this bar and going to a movie.
I'd prefer to spend $50 on a Mai Tai.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what.
But you could gamble and get your Mai Tai for free.
I hear you. So I'll tell you something. When we were at the El Cortez last week,
good old fashioned Las Vegas fun,
and we that's right. And I was watching, the nephew play some blackjack. I'm like, that game looks kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that again. I actually got a really interesting tip. How big of a bankroll should you have when you sit down at the table? And what I heard was it should be 20 times the bet. So if you have $100, you're looking for a $5 table. That's right. And I never thought about that before. He came there with $20 on a $5, and we lasted for an hour and a half. It was
Which
awesome.
is amazing.
No, it was stunning. I'm like, holy shit. It reminded me of my 3-card poker thing where I won 2 royal flushes in a row. Right. I won one, and I'm like, well, I'm the best player in the world. And I went, 2 weeks later. I'm
such great skill involved in
the crap beat out of me. I'm like, this reminds me of throwing the ball and knocking down the water bottles or whatever. I did it once, and I'm like, shit, I'm really good at this. And then I went back and I just got the crap beat out of me.
And then you needed rotator cuff surgery and you had Tommy John surgery.
So I don't really know a lot of people here who are casino players who live in Las Vegas.
Well, I know a lot of people who are card players, because I've been around that part of it in town quite a bit. I play in a regular card game with a bunch of guys.
Do you?
And guys who would play the World Series of Poker and guys that are professional poker players. And, they spend a lot of time. In fact, I had lunch earlier this week with a guy. He's like, what are you doing the rest of the afternoon? I'm going down to Bellagio, play cards for a few hours. And that's what he does. Wow. He's just pretty much a gambler.
That's so weird to me.
There are plenty of people. There are lots of people who are professional gamblers. So whether they are strictly sports gamblers or poker players or things like that, it is a unique way to make a living. A lot of people who are sports handicappers.
Yeah.
They're also part-time guys at Home Depot because they're not very good.
I was going to say, you know more, but I know a few people who are professional bettors, and the truth of the matter is I don't know any of them who do that completely full-time. I think I know one guy.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of other things to try to supplement his income betting.
Yeah. Well, you're always trying to leverage yourself into other situations.
Yeah. Here's the other
cash flow positive.
Yeah. Here's the next stereotype. There's a higher than average percentage of douchebags living in Las Vegas. This stereotype is true. And here's how you know. You'll see this. God, I've never seen this. Look, let me just ask people who don't live in Las Vegas. Have you ever watched people take pictures, selfies, or just pictures of hanging out? Do any of them do this? Ever? Have you ever seen anybody do that? It's fucking prevalent here. Everywhere, this guy. Let me tell you what that guy
Usually
is.
that's a guy from New Jersey with a gold chain around his neck.
Yeah, or he's a Vegas guy. There's 2 signs that a guy is a douchebag. If he does this, or when he's standing up, he does this. This hand thing? Oh, fuck.
That's funny.
I'm telling you, you see somebody do this or this, they're a douchebag.
All right.
Stay the hell away from them. So that stereotype couldn't be more true. By the way, there's another one, and that is the broke-back woman stereotype. I've never seen more women who have a 90-degree bend in their back than here in Las Vegas. They're the ones who...
Yeah, the hand on the hip and stretching your back out. And yeah, it's chiropractors are standing by.
I mean...
Dial 555 back. That's 555 back.
555. What's that sound?
That's my vertebrae.
So and I have never seen that before I moved here. I knew women. I knew guys.
I think that's more of a teenage girl thing that suddenly...
No,
but it's gone up the ladder to the cougar generation.
Yeah. No, I mean, older women who should fucking know better.
Right. No, you're right.
Are they're desperately trying to be young.
Exactly.
Desperately trying to be young.
Well, Vegas is full of that.
That's actually a good one. At there's a high percentage of people with plastic surgery here. And I think if you were on the Strip and you're hanging out on the Strip, you'd believe that.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people who work on the Strip, women, have breast augmentation, especially if they're cocktail waitresses. Probably all of them do. Well, not all of them, but almost all of them. But again, out here in the real world, I don't think I know anybody personally who's a friend. Oh, well, no, I do. Fuck that up.
I know several.
I know one who's, kind of a friend, not a hang out to the house friend, but somebody who I know and who we're friendly with. But yeah, she's got him. Oh, nope, 2. Ah, shit. But they're both entertaining.
I got a great fake boob story. We're going to put that into real quick stories at some point.
Let's hit it now.
A friend of mine, his wife at the time, they were on the outs. And so he was living on my couch for a while. And my wife and his wife were best friends, and he and I were good friends.
Right.
He had nowhere to go. And, so he stayed with us for maybe 4 or 5 days. Of course, after 4 or 5 days listening to my wife give him crap about what is going on in his marriage with his wife, he's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. No kidding. But in the meantime, in that 4-day stretch, his wife went and got a boob job.
Really?
Yeah. And
without him knowing?
No, she said, I'm going to go do it. She made a lot of money. So it wasn't like she was taking money from him. She was very, she did very well for herself and always has. So like a month later, unbeknownst to me, we're down in Phoenix together for an event. And I was not with my wife. I was for a hockey tournament down there. So he came down with his wife. They're kind of back together for a little bit. And he came over to say hi, and she came in to say hi. And he goes, what do you think? I go, what do I think about what?
Right.
You go, look at her. And I go, look at her what? She looks fine. She's always been beautiful.
Right.
You don't notice anything different about her? And no. He goes, honey, show him. Oh, takes off her top. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, go ahead, feel him.
Yeah?
What?
No, wait. Kathy wasn't there.
Nope. No, I told her about it. I told her the story.
Well, you had to.
Because it was like...
It's a confession.
Okay.
You're Catholic.
Yeah, what do you think
How
about
were they?
that? They were hard as a rock.
Were they?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good.
I don't like that.
It was the most awkward thing in the world.
I enjoy a slightly pendulous breast.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Pendulous.
I got to hang on.
Look that up.
I got to look that up.
That's a good word, right? I like them real. I want to know that I'm actually having sex with a human. Okay. Next thing. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. So, I already did the douchebags. I just want to reiterate this or this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one. It's the desert here, so it's hot all the time.
No, it's the stereotype. It's a dry heat.
Yeah. And
you know what?
So is an oven, by the way.
Here's what I say to people. I said, you want to know what it feels like, what that dry heat feels like? Go ahead, drive 300-400 miles. Okay? Keep your car running, open up the hood, and put your head next to the fan. And the heat coming off the engine and the engine fan, that's what it feels like. Yeah, that's a dry heat.
Yeah, I say it's an oven. Ovens are dry, and
but it's a windy oven. It's a windy oven,
and it's hot too. So look, here's what I thought.
Although July has been fabulous.
So, and I am going to actually file a complaint to the.
You can't handle 98.
The Las Vegas Weather Bureau, or whoever's in charge. God, I don't know who's in charge, but when I signed up, I want Al
Gore, please.
Yeah, right.
Al, it's not hot enough.
Right. I was like,
what's the matter with you?
Hold on.
Hang on, I'm inventing the internet.
Working on the internet. Got some. We got a little problem with our Cisco 125 router. Attaboy, Al. Attaboy. So I thought it was hot all the time, and that's what I signed up for. I have a pool. I want it to be hot all the time.
People think you're swimming in January.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's swimming in
so the
January.
first time we were here, we moved in August. It's fucking hot in August. I'm like, yeah. So come November, December, it gets below 0 in wintertime.
Not very often.
Yeah, it does.
Not often.
We've had snow.
Oh, sure.
Snow.
Absolutely.
Snow.
It's gone by an hour later.
I don't care.
It's not like you're shoveling it,
I don't
for Christ's
care
sake.
if it's gone.
Honey, I'm going out to shovel the snow. No, not quite.
It was with a spoon.
Exactly.
Get after little snowflakes. You'll be okay. No, it's fucking cold out here.
You got to scrape off the windshield. You got a toothbrush, honey?
I have to wear shirts with sleeves and jackets, and sometimes I even have those things.
Well, that's because your blood thins out, and we don't handle the colder weather as much.
I wonder if that's.
I remember my dad came out for a baseball game. It was November, and it was like 50 degrees, and we were freezing our asses off. He's all bundled up like it's 40 below 0, and it was 50. And I'm thinking to myself, we used to play soccer in December in the Midwest with shorts on, and it was 12 degrees outside, and we're running around, and nobody thought twice about it.
Yep.
And if it was 50 degrees in Wisconsin in January, you're out without a shirt on. And you're going, this is wonderful. Here you're like, Jesus, it's freezing.
I'm just saying, I would like it to be hot all the time.
No, not all
of course, if it was that case, we'd have to find a new co-host, because every time it gets over 95, you leave the state.
I love a September. Give me October. Give me October. Give me April. I'm a happy guy.
All right, two more to go. First, you must know a lot of celebrities if you live here.
Absolutely, because everybody rolls into Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know any. Well, I guess I know a couple. God,
I'm doing my basketball show with Tracy Murray. Tracy played in the NBA, a big star at UCLA basketball, and he played for the Houston Rockets, won a championship. So he's a very accomplished basketball player.
Right.
He's at the radio station last week. My wife happened to be there. My wife is 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And Tracy's 6'9".
Yeah.
So after she had left, she texts me, and the text goes, "Was that big black guy a basketball player?" Like, what was the clue, honey? What gave it away?
21 inches will give you that advantage. And finally, our very last one is that Las Vegas is not very family oriented. Sin City equals no churches.
No, well, the big stereotype is that it's a bad place to raise kids.
Yep.
First of all, we have as many churches here per capita as anywhere in the country does,
actually,
if not
more than anybody.
Yeah. So there's plenty of religion. That's because most people are there trying to say, "Oh my God, Lord, please don't let my wife find out what I gambled last night or who I slept with last night." Right? So that's why I'll give extra money into the plate. I promise, Lord.
What's that website? That Madison website?
Yeah, Madison.
Oh, shit, I was on that website.
I swear to God, she said there was a woman. And then, so that's a big part of it. But it is an interesting place to raise kids. You didn't raise your kids in Las Vegas.
No.
For those of you that are going through it, my kids are at the back end of it. So I have my youngest are 17. They're going to be seniors in high school next year. My daughter's a junior in college. It's interesting because when they're 16 and 17 years old, they want to go to the Strip. They want to go to a place like Serendipity. And, because it's like they want to go get dessert.
Yeah.
They have their driver's license. They're 16. They're 17 years old.
Yeah.
There's a group of 30 of them. They want to have their birthday party down. And they wanted to go to, what was the place, the Kardashian place?
Hell? Yeah. Purgatory?
Right.
Anything that's
the restaurant
horrible?
That's gone now.
Oh, I don't care.
That kind of stuff.
Sugar Factory.
Yeah, and they don't want mom and dad to go down there with them because they want to be able to drive by themselves. So when my daughter was kind of going through that, I'm like, I would give her grief and say, you have no business being down there. What time you going? Who you going with? What are you doing? I want you to call me. I want you to text me. I want you to stay together. That's the kind of stuff you worry about.
Right.
But if you're in the Midwest and or on the West Coast, if you're going to find trouble and you're a teenager, you're going to find trouble. Yeah. Trouble can be on the living room couch of your friend's house.
Yep.
You have all the trouble you want there. So it just depends on what you got to trust your kids. So you set them right with a good moral compass, and you trust them until they can't be trusted.
So let's say this. So we've been asked this on the show for years about the educational play here. And I've always said, I hear there are very good private schools here, and your kids go to a private school. Mm-hmm. Some very good, and some also, what are those schools
called?
Magnet schools. Some really good, especially for entertainment. I said, but I haven't heard good things about the public schools. And when we moved here, we were empty nesters, or both of our kids were going to college at the time when we moved here. So we didn't have to do it, and I would not have done it in public school, given what I knew then. I don't care now, so it's not on my radar.
Right.
But you are in that thing. You've had them in private school the whole time, as I understand it, right?
Yeah.
And the reason you haven't put them in public school is why?
Well, I went to private school my whole life as well, and I just kind of always wanted to have that for my kids. That was part of it. I went to 16 years at Catholic school, and ironically, my kids go to Lutheran school. But that's beside the point. The education part of it is fine for Las Vegas. The stats get skewed so bad because we do have a very high dropout rate.
Yeah.
And part of that dropout rate is not necessarily because of the failure of the kids as much as it is the failure of the families.
Parents.
The failure of the families. I mean, there's a lot of transients. There's a lot of people moving in and out of Las Vegas. That's part of it. Yeah. There's a very high teenage homelessness rate in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Very high. Almost 15,000 Clark County students are homeless. I mean, think about that
because
number.
Of the Rotary Club.
Yeah, because I had a speaker talk about that. And I'm thinking, wow, 15,000.
That's unbelievable.
And homelessness can be living in your car, living on the street. It can be a couch hopper. Oh. A kid who goes, you know what, my mom's gone and I'm moving from Joe's couch to Steve's couch to Bob's couch because that's where they're going to find a meal and that kind of stuff. So, but I do know plenty of people who are very smart kids who go to public school. The kids do very well. They get into good colleges. They take good classes. I mean, a good friend of mine, his son graduated at Cimarron this past year, which is at Smoke Ranch in Buffalo, and it's borderline school. It's becoming more and more Hispanic. Kids going to West Point, for Christ's sake. He's in the military academy. Yeah. So dummies aren't going into West Point.
Right.
Clark High School is the big magnet high school. There's also some good friends of mine whose kids go to Bonanza, for example, and they're studying off campus at CSN. I mean, they're coming out of high school. They're already EMT qualified to be EMTs and firemen. They're getting that training in high school. So there's some good stuff that's going on in the Clark County schools, but there's also some bad stuff with regards to, the biggest issue is the funding. Well, at the beginning of the school year, the schools get the amount of money that the schools are going to get. Yeah. Okay, so let's just say, for sake of argument, a school's get $1 million at the beginning of their school year from the state for the school year. And that works out to be, whatever, $6,000 a kid. I'm just making this up.
Right.
But the problem is, in September, that's great. But by the time May rolls around, run out of money. There's 1,000 more kids in that school, or 800 more kids in the school, and they don't get any more money. Maybe 800 is a bigger number. There's hundreds of more kids added to the school, and they're not getting more money.
So you don't get really?
No, it's a one-time funding thing.
That's interesting.
That happens. And my whole problem with the Clark County School District in general is it's too big. Thank you. Here we are, the 34th largest market, 35th largest market in the country. But we have about the 5th or 6th largest school district in the country.
Yeah, it's too big.
It's too big. We should have Henderson should have a school district.
3, 4,
Summerlin should have a school district.
5.
East Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Central Las Vegas. Because I think what that does, it creates competition for teachers. Yeah. You're then able to say, you know what, this area, Summerlin doesn't need any money. Yeah. Green Valley doesn't need any money, but that school needs money. Yeah. They could have a PTO, a PTA club go out and raise $20,000 for their school. God bless them. They don't need our help. And I think there's.
Are you familiar with this new law or rule or whatever it's called, where you can get money from the state and use it for a private school?
Yeah, there's talk about that, and the governor likes it. I don't think it's happened yet.
It's actually going to happen. So a buddy of mine is in the place where his kid is in preschool now, or kindergarten now. And basically you have to be out of public school for 100 days.
Okay.
For you to get this fund, or in public school. That's right. You have to be in public school for 100 days to get the funding, and then you can put the kids anywhere. So you know what's happening right now? A lot of kids are being pulled out of private school and put into public school for 100 days so they can get their funding and then put back. But what that's doing is putting downward pressure on a bunch of little private schools.
Right.
And they're actually being threatened with shutting down because they don't have the money because for 100 days, there's no kids there.
Right.
It's a fascinating situation. So, yeah, it's tough. And the other thing that's always been kind of an issue here as a stereotype, and I think it's true, is that there's a real low graduation rate for public high school here, about 70%. And by the way, that's an attaboy. They just got to 70%, and it was a big deal. It was press release, big deal. And 70% is ridiculous.
Well, the other part is, obviously, we have a very large Hispanic population, and we have a language issue. You have a lot of kids who come in who don't speak the language. So the question is, what do you do with those kids? Okay, here comes a fourth grade age kid who doesn't know English, who can't read. Where do you put that child? Right. And what we did 100 years ago, we're not doing now. When people are 150 years ago or 120, when people came across at Ellis Island, it was they assimilated to it as opposed to demanding to be in the same spot. Now it's all about self-esteem and all this kind of stuff. I go and speak at Career Day all the time. Yeah. Every year, and I go to a school that is 90% Hispanic. Oh. And we're talking to fifth graders and sixth graders. Right. And it's completely different, the stuff we're telling.
I think the other thing that's pretty well known here is that, it used to be that you could actually make a decent living. This whole making $100,000 for being a valet, that's kind of a bullshit story. But you could still make a living here. There are musicians who are just doing, cover bands, and they're making a living. They have a nice little house, that kind of stuff. And so a lot of kids were like, well, shit, why do I need to graduate from high school? Mom's a blackjack dealer, and what's the motivation? And so that failure is not with the kids. The failure is with the parents. The reason is the problem with that kid is that this is a scary place to be. I could get laid off. It's not a trustful thing. I'm getting a lot of that on tips. That's a scary thing. I mean, there's a whole lot of scary things involved with that kind of deal. But they're not getting that message.
Well, there's a lot of other issues too, where I see it in the private schools where the kids are doing very well in school, and they go away to college, and guess what? They're back a semester later. Because they miss mommy doing their laundry and and never grew up. So there's something to be said for the kid that kind of can fend for themselves and can do for themselves.
We were all about that.
And that's not necessarily a socioeconomic thing. There's plenty of kids that I know through my daughter.
That's a parenting thing.
Well, absolutely. There's plenty of people I see.
No, that was part of it for our kids. We were like, okay, it's 18, time to go. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to help. We're going to pay for half, but you're paying for the other half. And we had that conversation with them so that they,
I just told my daughter, I said, you know what? Here's the thing. You're not staying home. So wherever you want to go is fine, but you're not staying home. Yeah. So get out and grow up. Yeah. And wherever you pick is great, but where you pick is where you're staying. Yeah. We're not transferring and changing majors 600 times. Let's make sure we make the right decision, and you like the school and love the school you're going to, because we're not changing.
That's it, man.
And no matter what happens, you're finishing.
That's it, baby. Yep. All right, we're going to take a quick break. That's it for our Stereotypes. We hope you loved it. If you liked it, I wrote it. If you didn't, well, hell, Brett wrote that stuff. Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is the Living in Las Vegas podcast on the Vegas Video Network. Hey, Scott Whitney here for LASIK of Nevada. And I know what you're probably thinking. Scott, you're wearing glasses. What on earth can you tell me about LASIK? Well, let me tell you my story. So some time ago, I visited Dr. Rothman to see if I could have the LASIK procedure. Had a couple tests done, and come to find out, I wasn't a candidate. But instead of those $299 an eye guys who pretty much will work on anybody, Dr. Rothman brought me aside and just said it wasn't an option at the time, which I really appreciated. Now, meanwhile, he's gone on and done 60,000 LASIK procedures. I got friends in Reno, down here in Las Vegas, who've all seen Dr. Rothman. As a matter of fact, he is the most experienced LASIK surgeon living in Nevada today. So check out their website. It's LASIKofNV.com. Again, LASIKofNV.com. And if you mention Vegas Video Network, they're going to give you 50% off of premium LASIK plus, come here, an additional $200 off. Awesome. That's LASIKofNV.com. $200 off? Come on! Let me just say something. If you're thinking about LASIK, the best deal to be had is on the Vegas Video Network.
Absolutely.
He's not offering that deal to anybody else.
Very nice.
50% off of premium LASIK plus an additional $200 off. Go check him out. He's a nice guy, by the way. Okay, real quick stories. Hey, guess what? Hold on. I got to have this sound. Do you smell
So what were you doing on Saturday afternoon?
Do you smell that? What's that smell? I got fire.
Ooh, fire.
Fire.
That is quite the fireworks display at the Cosmopolitan.
You tiger.
Reporting live from the Cosmopolitan, black smoke is oozing from the bamboo pool.
We're bringing in a fighter jet. Let's take that out.
You know, the picture on the left.
Oh, yeah, helicopter. There it is.
The picture on the left is the one that's, I know the other one, the one in the middle and the one on the right are, with the black smoke up close and personal. You kind of see what's going on. But if you're the guy driving down the street, you're going, I wonder what's on fire. That could be holy mackerel. Yeah. And where the fire was situated, about the 14th floor, is where that particular pool is. I didn't realize there's 3 or 4 pools there. Yeah, so that's the one that's the farthest north, I think, or is it?
Oh, I see. I didn't know that they had multiple pools.
They had 3.
It was just on the 14th. I thought it was just that.
No, there's 3 pools there.
So what happened? So it caught fire. Here's how it started. They did talk about this today. So here's what they actually saw some video that showed where it started. They still don't know what started it. But so they have these palm trees there, and these palm trees are all fake. And there's this one palm tree, and it's basically made of styrofoam, and it started to burn in the middle top part, and then those fronds started to catch on fire. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever done this when you were a kid, and I'm not saying I did, but I did. If you take a margarine cup and you catch it on fire, what happens is it'll drip little fireballs, and they whistle.
Wow.
Luckily, I was acquitted.
Scott's been in therapy.
However, that's what happened. So the fronds started dripping fucking fireballs. And it lit off. So that's not a feature, as the kids say. How long did the fire last? 30 minutes. And here's why. Not a lot of people know this, but there's a fire station literally next door.
Right.
It's in the city center location. There's a whole fire station right there. Yeah, we're hanging out. Well, finally,
we got some work to do.
It's not a city center, but hell, we'll go.
Usually they're just, they're there for drunks who are passed out on the strip, right? And then transporting them to paramedics.
So they, they get to go off and go, well, yeah, there's a fire. They put it out. And I'll tell you what was really cool about it is, as you probably know, we have a roving reporter.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Normally, my roving reporter goes out and talks about restaurants. She has 5 thumbs, and it scares the shit out of me.
So Danny went to the fire.
Well, yeah, of course. And I called Danny.
Was she thinking of the Vegas Video Network at the time?
Of course she was. I was like, hey, Danny, look, you're my roving reporter. You've got this little weird thing with your thumbs. You lose a thumb in the fire. Fuck, no one will know. Just go out there and see what you got. So Danny was good enough to actually drive to the Cosmopolitan.
Did you call her and ask her to go?
Yeah, of course I did.
Are you serious?
What are we going to do?
Danny, what are you doing today?
She's like, she said that she was going to be downtown. I mean, not downtown, down the strip. And I'm like, well, shit, she might be down there. So I texted her. She's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, go to the Cosmopolitan. Tell me what you got. So she was there. Here's Danny's report from, this is pretty cool, the Cosmopolitan.
It's Danny Ackerman, your Vegas Video Network reporter. So Scott says, go check out the Cosmopolitan. Go hang out at the pool, he says. Yeah, we came home. I guess we're kind of in the mood to have a barbecue. Signing off, Vegas Video Network reporter.
I'm on fire! Ah, look at that. Isn't that fun? So thanks for Danny for going out there risking her life. And
Danny and Mr. Clean, as they're saying there on the live chat.
What frightens me, and
they might need a shower.
Well, I kind of feel bad about this, quite frankly. It obviously made Danny's husband mute or whatever the word is.
Well, he hasn't spoken yet.
No, he hasn't. But
he's like that. He's Teller.
He is. He looks a little bit bigger than Teller.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he's a very, very quiet. Well, he's a strong-sounding guy. But luckily, only one person went to the hospital, and it was from smoke inhalation. And I still don't get this. This is outside. So if you're now,
if you're in the wrong spot, you can't. Everybody's
wait a minute.
Everybody's running for the door.
Look,
right?
do you see that big blue area on the left side?
Looks like a great day for a swim.
That's a pool. And if you're, I guess if you were. I can't tell how deep that smoke is. Like if it's like cabana, and you're back here, all right, I guess I get it. But if you're here and you're like, And there are people who said this in the paper. Yeah, I smelled smoke, and I told the waitress, and she didn't really understand. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'd understand it. That's smoke. I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to get the hell away from the smoke. But good news, only one person went to the hospital. 2 people were injured. 1 person went to the hospital. And they're supposed to give us some more insight into what. There's rumors that somebody threw a cigarette out there.
Right.
Somebody said that a waitress walked by with a sparkler. But you know what? Nobody knows what happened yet. But when they find out, we'll probably not tell you because you guys will hear it on Facebook.
I was thinking about this the other day. Remember, well, this is before your time in Las Vegas. So folks who've been in town for a while, there was a casino in town probably 17, 18 years ago that was a smoke-free casino. And it was down by the Peppermill. Gosh, I can't remember what it was called. The El Rancho or something like that. It didn't survive.
Yeah.
And disappeared. I think if somebody opened up a completely smoke-free casino today, I think it would do well.
I think it would fail miserably.
I think it would do all right.
Well, I hope they do it because it won't work.
Why not?
Because part of the joy of gambling, even if you don't smoke, is that it's an adult thing.
I understand that.
And there is something to be said for drinking and smoking, even if you don't drink or smoke.
Well, you can have all the drink you want.
I'm just saying. I'm saying even if you don't drink or smoke.
I think there's enough people now with all the stuff that would probably say there's enough people that come to town from a gambling perspective that don't want to have the guy blowing smoke in their face. And now you actually do get kind of limited. If you're, I know you're not a gambler, but if you're a smoker, you're stuck at the corners now. You can't sit in the middle of a table and smoke. You're at a corner.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you're pretty much at a corner. So it's already kind of going that way at most casinos.
I don't think
I'm just saying if one high-end place said, you know what? Or if you're going to smoke, it's down there.
Wait,
there's your table.
Did you say there was a property here or somewhere that has? Well, here's the question: is there a casino in America that is completely smoke-free and a success?
Well, no, not that I know of. I have no idea. I'm not sure what the laws are in Connecticut or Atlantic City or wherever.
Don't think I'll ever.
It's a pretty good point, Ted. I understand. If it was open,
smoke-free. Revel or reveal, whatever it is.
Revel.
So yeah, I just think. I mean, I used to smoke. I loved smoking,
right.
But I haven't smoked in 14, 15 years or whatever it is, and I miss it. But
my lung feels great.
I like that vibe. Just adults hanging out, smoking a cigarette, drinking a drink, playing some cards or playing blackjack or playing whatever that game is with the blinky lights. I dig that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't think it plays out. And then the other thing is, I know there are casinos here that have smoke-free gaming. Actually, I think Mirage has an area, which, by the way, is going to be sold from out of MGM is going to sell it. Fucking bums me out.
Yeah.
So bums me out. Really like Mirage. It's a perfect spot in that whole MGM property, and they're going to sell it. Fuck. Bums me out. Anyways, and I don't think there's ever anybody in there in the smoke-free bannered area. Well, come on, take your balls off and put them off the side and play a little or play a little video poker. Oh, no, never going to happen. All right. So number 2, take a good look at this guy.
That's you.
Hello.
Hi, Scott.
You may think that I'm kind of rough around the edges. Oh, sure, I swear a little bit.
A little bit.
No more than my co-host, especially off camera. Trust me on this.
Exponentially more.
But if you look at me, you may say to yourself, I don't think somebody of the opposite sex would play along with that. Really? Is that what you think? 2 things. First, I never really liked you. And second, yesterday, I celebrated my 13-year anniversary.
Of being married to yourself?
To Melissa.
Oh, Melissa.
13 years, ladies and gentlemen. I've been married for 21 years, just not in a row.
It's kind of like the donut shop that says open 24 hours and the guy goes there and they're closed. This guy's like, not in a row.
Not in a row. That's ridiculous. So I'm often asked, how did we meet?
How did you meet, Scott?
Excellent job.
Thank you very much.
We met online.
Oh.
Online dating.
Farmers only.
No.
She's from Effingham, for crying out loud.
It was Madison Addison or Addison Madley or whatever that fucking shit. I don't know what it's even called. It went zooming by the live chat as if they'd been there.
Right.
No, we met on a website called Matchmaker.com. It's no longer there.
Okay.
There's still Match.com. But Matchmaker.com is where we met. And I was in phase 3 of my online dating world. Phase 1, met a gal. It didn't work out. Phase 2, met a gal. It didn't work out. Phase 3, I'm like, forget this single sequential dating. I'm going to date as many women as I can just to see what it'd be like. God, it was like a potpourri for 100, Scott. I mean, it was the best thing ever. So
potpourri for 100.
Awesome. So I was dating 5 women when I met Melissa. Or she was the 5th. One of them was the sister of a monkey.
Oh, not a primate.
Not a primate.
But like Davy Jones or Mickey.
There's Mickey Dolan's sister. Mickey Dolan's sister, who was a big Harley Davidson chick. She lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains. She was fucking crazy. But I dated her.
Bad crazy?
Nope. She was one day crazy. She was. I think we went motorcycle riding once. I'm like, hey, that was great. We went to her place, and it smelled like patchouli and. It just smelled like, wow, I don't need this shit.
That's funny.
But, Melissa Sloan played me like a pro, man. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know. I'm like,
oh, you were the douche.
I was a douchebag.
Did you have the gold chain? Did you have the gold chain out?
Oh, no, but I was a douchebag. I'm like, I didn't do this. But fuck if I ever did. That was so funny. I was like, I'm just trying to be open and honest. I'm dating a lot of people. She's like, yeah, that's cool. No problem.
Was her name Coco?
I am too. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm like, I'm hanging out. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this Melissa girl. Fuck. I really like her. She's kind of neat. And then we ended up going to Effingham. I was almost killed by hunters, and we got married. And it's been
13
years. 13 years.
Ago.
She's been a great wife and an amazing mom as well. She's pretty good. Most people are surprised she's still with me, and I can't blame them. But God bless her for doing it.
So for you, the second time was a charm.
Second time was her second marriage as well.
Oh, okay.
How about that? Okay, big news for those of you who are into Fremont Street. We've all talked about the buskers that are down there, and they can be kind of a pain in the ass. And I just got a news alert about an hour before the show, media advisory, and it reads, new city ordinance to address street performers at Fremont Street Experience to be announced. City of Las Vegas, ACLU of Nevada, and Fremont Street Experience have teamed on a proposal. And that's a big deal, by the way, because the reason why those guys are down there is because the ACLU sued Fremont Street Experience, and they won, giving them the rights to do that. And what the announcement basically said is the American Civil Liberty Union of Nevada Executive Director Todd Story will join Councilman Barlow and Bob Coffins, as well as Fremont Street Experience President Jeff Victor on Wednesday, July 29th, which is tomorrow, for a news conference to announce a proposed city ordinance that sets standards for buskers or street performers on Fremont Street. The news conference will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. inside the City Council chambers. They're also going to live stream it at kclv.tv/live. I think that's pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that. Because like I've said, some of them are good, like my artist friend here.
That was very good.
That's good, but he's I think he's a sanctioned cat. But there's a lot of guys there. For instance, again, if you're the guy wearing diapers, I hope they kick your ass out because you suck.
Maybe he'll pay you to be there.
Well, maybe he will. I don't think they're going to be. I don't know what they're going to do. It should be pretty interesting. All right. As we all know, one of us decided to take a dog, bring it into his heart, give it a name, confuse the dog by changing the name. I'm not Femi. Your radio. Oh, for fuck's sake! I would really listen to call me Shemmy. That's okay. You're gonna be radio. All right. And
she didn't respond to either name yet, so it doesn't matter.
Well, Coda didn't respond to her name for a year.
Yeah,
she's a little slow.
Right.
She's super slow. But now she's like, no, I'm Coda. Here I come. Okay. Anyways, Brett is doing the right thing, teaching the dog to swim.
Well, yeah, she always wants to be near the water. She's looking at it. She's sniffing it. Maybe she's trying to get a drink.
Our dogs do that.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, my daughter was in the pool the other day, and I was like, yeah. So we put her in there a couple of times, and she doesn't jump out. She doesn't freak out. She's not crying or yelping or any of that kind of stuff. So I just keep introducing her to the water. So Emily was in the pool, and we let her go.
You gotta go this way.
That's a big beach step there, but it's too deep for her. She couldn't quite get out.
Go left, go left.
And I was trying to get her to go this direction. There's the other step there.
There it is.
And then she goes, oh, okay, I get out. There you go. All right. Then she
and that's
out.
part of the stereotype. Yeah. Everybody in Las Vegas has a pool.
That part's probably true.
That is true. You just do Google Maps. My God, there's a pool everywhere. Look at all those pools. Yeah, it's because we're smart. Anyways, I think that's good. Our dogs are freaked out about water.
Yeah.
Just completely freaked out.
Well, the first day we had her, I stuck her in the shower with my son because she stunk. And she's like, okay, we got to clean her off. And my wife's like, look, we're bringing the dog home. She's getting a shower. Or we're getting a bath. Well, here's the thing. The rule is my wife does not want the dog upstairs, which is the only place in our house where we have carpet. So she doesn't want the dog on the carpet because she doesn't want the carpet to be ruined if a dog pees on it, yada, yada, yada.
But you feel bad if you leave the dog downstairs while you're...
well, no, but we don't have a bathtub downstairs. Like, I really can't give her a bath downstairs. I guess I could put her in the slop sink in the laundry room and do it there. That's like a Midwestern term. You know the big sink in the laundry room?
I know what you're saying.
Slop sink.
Well, we got a sink.
And I go, Dominic, hop in the shower. So we have a shower. We have a shower downstairs. So we got in the shower with her and just hosed her up. She was trying to get out like crazy because it's raining. Like the funny thing now is she doesn't bark. When she barks, the only time she really barks is if you take out the hose and like you're watering the tomato plants or whatever. She will not bark at the hose. She just barks at the water.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Do you have prickly pear cactus?
No.
Okay, good. Let me just say something to you. If anybody ever comes to you and go, that prickly pear cactus is a gorgeous addition to your landscaping, tell them to go fuck themselves. All right?
Yeah, I don't
We have them. We got big, giant, monstrous ones. When we first moved here, I'm like, God, that's some cool shit right there.
Until the dog gets stabbed.
No.
Or you.
Fuck the dog.
Yeah.
So we had one up against one of our windows, and we have Rolander shutters, and it wouldn't go down because it was. So I'm like, well, Mr. Fix It. Oh my God, I'm still a douche,
Mr. Douche.
And I'm like, I'll take care of it. So I go out there with a saw to cut out these these little things, and I just barely touched it, and to this day, which is 3 days later, I am still picking out these little fucking poker things. And
for where? Your hand or finger?
Yeah. Okay. Hand or stomach.
You out there without a shirt on?
No. Well, not a shirt on. Did I? Maybe. But I had, so I'm like, and so I'm washing my hands and I'm trying to scrub. I'm like, no, it's not working. And they're like, poke, 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 poke. And it's not stopping. I woke up this morning. They are horrible.
Right, I believe
so I'm telling you what, get them out. They should be outlawed. There's no excuse for them, and they're heavy. It was like full of. I know where I'm going to go if I'm in the desert and I'm thirsty. It's one of these
tons of water.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how heavy those things were.
Yeah, they are.
But they're just completely desperate, horrible, evil things. And then finally, this is big news, by the way. I saw a flock of seagulls. Oh shit. That's flock of beagles. I'm sorry. I really thought that was flock of seagulls. Never mind.
That's table 10.
That is table 10. I'm really impressed that you recognize that from that picture.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've been there a million times. Great place.
It is a good place.
Very good food.
There's a good chance that table 10 may eventually be...
I'm sorry.
Not today.
Okay.
But there's a chance, folks, that this may become a have a drink on me location at some point in the very near future. All right, it's time for live chat questions. Again, if you want to do that, you just say your questions in all caps in the live chat area. We'll bring those up. We've got a couple now, but before we do that, to prove that all Las Vegas people love the Strip, Brett Grant, everybody.
I had to go to the Strip this weekend. You were there as well, celebrating your 13th anniversary.
That was yesterday.
Well, we were down there. You were down there for dinner on Saturday night, were you not?
Well, yesterday was my anniversary.
I know, but you were down there Saturday night.
Saturday.
You were at Tao.
Oh, I was there. What was I there for?
I would assume that was your anniversary dinner. No? Okay.
We went there to go shoe shopping.
Anyway, my wife has been bugging me for a long time to go see the Australian BeeGees. And I was fighting it. And we went to, that's where our seats are, right there. Look how close, I'm so close to the stage, I'm scaring Robin.
How is it that I've never been given or afforded those seats?
Would you like to go see the Australian BeeGees? I was shocked, to be honest with you, at how many songs I didn't know.
Live.
Well, they played that, of course, at the end. They played a little jive talking. I should be dancing. They played some of this. Obviously, they're first of all, the surprise that they did 2 different sets. Basically, this is when they first came out. This is their early stuff in the early 70s, early 60s when they're first discovered. So Robin is the one in the middle, Barry on the right, and I always thought Maurice.
Right.
Okay.
No.
They called him Morris. The whole show they called him Morris. Now it's spelled Maurice.
Yeah.
Maurice, right?
Yeah,
they called him Morris the entire time.
Weird.
I thought that was odd myself.
Australians. Criminals.
Yeah.
You can't trust
You
him.
can't trust those bastards.
He would normally be called 1008473.
Very good singers. The theater there, unfortunately, is very small. And it's not a big show. Then they come back out and they do their kind of disco thing, and they change their costumes and their wigs and all that. You see the change. The only thing really is similar is that Barry looks exactly the same because that's his natural hair and that's his beard. The amazing thing about the BeeGees, and I'm sure most people are aware of this, next to McCartney and Lennon, Barry Gibb is one of the greatest songwriters ever. Wrote songs for anybody and everybody that had a hit in the 70s and the 80s. Also, obviously, with the theme song to Grease and other movies that they were involved in.
Right.
They sing very well. The show's
how long is the show?
It's 75 minutes.
Standard length of the show.
They changed the time. It used to be a 7:00 show. Now it's a 5:00 show.
Oh.
And judging by the audience, it's appropriate for a 5:00 show.
A lot of blue hair.
A lot of blue hair. Yeah.
Wonder why they did that. That's a brutal.
Well, it's
the same
theater.
Time.
It's the same theater that Thunder from Down Under is in.
Where's this at?
It's the Excalibur.
Oh yeah,
okay. Which should be blown up at any moment. It's just such a.
I just wanted to live because it's a theme.
See, that's the thing. You talk about the smoke free. You walk into the Excalibur, it's like you walked into an ashtray. It just reeks in there. That's kind of where I kind of thought of this, a smoke-free place. There's some casinos you walk in and you can't tell. You go into the Bellagio, you go into the Wynn.
Like purple.
It smells nice. Yeah. You walk into the Excalibur, you're like, Jesus, it freaking reeks in here. You go into a Boulder Station, you're like, I just want to puke right now.
That's
right.
Different.
You go into a locals casino, they all smell. You go to Suncoast, it smells that way.
Red Rock, come on.
No, the Red Rock, no, not so much.
Aliante is not bad.
Yeah,
I would say even
business at Aliante.
Santa Fe.
Oh yeah,
little smoky.
Yeah.
But
the
so
Fiesta, Texas Station, you're like,
So what did you think
like
of these guys?
It's like the I thought they were musically they were very good. The showroom is small, so that's the biggest thing for me. But it's certainly worth seeing, and you get a great deal on the radio shopping show. You can get 2 tickets. Those seats, the producer's seats, for like $35.
Come
for
on.
2 tickets.
What?
For 2 tickets.
That's crazy.
Go to kshp.com.
Where?
kshp.com. And that stands for Cash Saving Happy People. We spell cash with a K.
Okay. Who came up with that?
I did.
Excellent.
Isn't that good?
Nicely done.
Yeah, you like that one? Okay.
Okay, good. Now, you are a good husband.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been married?
22 years next month. In September. 22
no one likes
years.
a braggart. Okay, here we go. And
I did it right the first time.
Oh.
Yeah, take that.
Take your Catholic prick.
I'm still waiting for the death do you part to happen.
Yeah. Well, you keep it up. I'm going to bring it on. All right. So you understand that to be a good husband, it can't just be a show. It's dinner on a show, or in your case, show and a dinner.
Yeah, we went to dinner
Especially
after.
Since it started at noon.
Yeah, I didn't want to have dinner at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Right. Yeah, we'll have a sandwich. Fuck.
Here's the funny thing about it. Go ahead. Introduce the place we went to dinner to.
There you go.
I had not been here in a long time. I was there for lunch. Golden Steer had been around since 1958, as it says there on the menu. They used to have lunch 15 years ago. So that's the last time that I was there. My wife had never been there. She goes, "Oh, we're going to Golden Corral for dinner."
Oh.
Golden Corral. I was like, "No, we're going to the fucking Sizzler."
Oh,
how about Ponderosa?
Is there a Golden Corral here in Vegas?
I don't think so.
God, there is in Effingham. Holy crap-tastic. That place is like a shit sandwich, man.
Yeah. The Golden Steer we went to, which is, of course...
Location?
Right on Sahara, about a block from Las Vegas Boulevard. And it's about a block away from this.
Yeah, okay.
Right next to the world's largest gift shop, about a block away.
Yeah.
Old school Vegas. I mean, been around forever. Been around for 60 years. And great steaks, prime steaks. And there's my wife's steak. And With her, that's a ribeye.
That was your wife's steak?
That was her steak. That's
as
a
big
20.
as she is.
That's a 22-ounce ribeye.
Oh.
For like $50. But she's very, I wouldn't say picky is not the right word for my wife's food. She likes her food the way she likes her food.
Sure.
And she wants her steak medium rare. And if it's over medium rare, she's not happy.
Yep.
She's not sending it back, and she's not paying for it. So it's like, I'm going to take a bite. I'm pissed. Take it off the menu. I'm done eating.
Wow.
We're done.
Holy
so, and I told the waiter, I said, listen, I want to make sure you're, because a week ago we were at a place in San Diego, and she ordered a steak medium rare. And it's not funny because we went to 2 steakhouses in a week. We don't normally. And it came back. It wasn't even medium. I mean, there was no pink in the steak at all. So she gets, she doesn't want to send stuff back because of the, they're going to spit in my food. And I go, they're not going to spit in your food. They'll make you a new one. It's overcooked. They got to cook you a new one.
Right.
Forget it. And then she gets upset about it. So I told the waiter, I go, look, it's closer. It's better off for you to undercook it and it's still mooing than it is for you to go in an ounce over, a degree over medium rare. So just make sure you get it right. And it came out perfect. Can I just do a real quick story? Yeah.
So we had dinner at my favorite restaurant, Capitol Grill, and guess what they ran out of?
Steak?
Ribeye.
Oh, wow.
Like, what the fuck?
Right.
How does a steak place run out of ribeye? Unbelievable.
They must have run ribeye.
They did. It was a huge, yeah. All right, continue on. So then, the steak was good, right?
Steak was very good. Their mushrooms were great. Actually, we love escargot also. So they had a great escargot appetizer. Oh, it's awesome. It's in the garlic. You put a little butter. You put your bread in there and you sop it up. Oh, it's good. Have you ever had it? It's fantastic.
Fucking freaks me out.
Oh, man. They're dead.
Yeah, no shit, they're dead.
You want a real quick story?
What they are? They're fucking snails.
They're snails. My wife and I are first dating. I go over to their house for dinner, and her mom and dad are 100% off the boat Italian immigrants.
Right.
Okay. Moved here when they were 16, 17 years old. I'm at their house, and her dad is a primary cook. So he's making dinner, and I look on the counter, and I'm like, what do you got going on here? Oh, we're going to have some snails and real heavy Italian accent. We're going to have seafood tonight. So he's cooking all kinds of stuff. And I look, and the snails are walking across the counter.
What?
They're going across the counter.
No.
They're still alive. And he throws it. Come on, guys, get in the sizzling hot. Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's kind of the way they used to do it.
That's the same thing in lobster. Pick out your lobster. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, my mother-in-law used to when my mother-in-law was a kid growing up in Italy. She had to go out and kill the rabbit for dinner.
No,
her dad would go. Here's the cleaver. Go get dinner.
Can't do it.
She would go hold it down.
Can't do it.
Chop off its head and off.
Clams. I'll kill a live clam.
Okay.
Because they don't look at me and go,
"What are you doing?
What are you hurting me?" Clams. Why would you hurt me?
The other unique thing about the golden steer is that they still are able to do grandfathered in for Bananas Foster. Now they do tableside Caesar
This is
salad,
my big measurement.
but this is Bananas Foster. Now, as I was talking to the maitre d' about that, and he goes, "If we were 1 block away, we couldn't do it." Yeah. So the other side of Las Vegas Boulevard, you can't do it.
Right.
So it's one of the very few places that still has Bananas Foster.
Yeah, and and one of the few places that has tableside Caesar.
Yeah.
And even though they do tableside Caesar, nobody can actually bring raw eggs out, which is what they used to be able to do.
Right.
You can't do that. So that's all been done ahead of time, which is kind of a letdown because part of the fun is them taking the eggs and making it into the goo.
Right.
But that place does it. Hugo's Cellars does, which I've never been to, by the way.
Been to Hugo's a few times for lunch.
I've heard really good things about it.
There's a Rotary Club that meets here on Tuesday. So
I did Golden Steer for Valentine's Day, actually with the Ivies. 2 couples went there, and we had a great time. It's great. There's a bullet hole in one of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. It was like a mob shot thing, and they decided, well, that's a pretty clever idea. Let's leave that fucker right there.
Let's put a plaque next to it.
I think they might do that. Somebody in the live chat said, "What booth did you sit in?" I think because there are some booths that are named.
No, we were kind of walked right in and off to the left in the first booth to the left. I don't know. I didn't look to see a name. It's a little dark in there.
It's super dark.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. It's a steakhouse. It's supposed to be dark and wood walls, and it should be and people who are professional waiters as opposed to actors who happen to be waiting.
Our waiter wasn't very good. He lacked personality.
Huh?
The waiter, the maitre d' was great, and he came over and talked to us for quite a bit. But our waiter, not so good. The food was great. I'm good, and we had a good time. But the waiter was not my favorite waiter.
But you liked it.
I did. We'll go back. Yeah, we'll go back.
It's a classic place.
Yeah.
All right. So here's our next live chat question, or our first one actually. Airport Limbo. Any update on the NHL team in Las Vegas? As you know, Las Vegas does not have a professional sports team, but rumors are we may be getting one. And one of us here is a big sports fan. That's me. So, no.
I have my deposit down for 4 season seats for
awesome
for the hockey team. If it happens, I drove by the arena, which is under construction, right behind the New York. Actually, as we were going from the Excalibur to Golden Steer, drove right by it. Looks very nice. Going to be nice. The expansion team has submitted their application for expansion under, I believe, Black Knights LLC. Bill Foley wanted to call the team the Black Knights. I believe the team colors are determined. The team name has not yet been determined. It'll be determined by the season ticket holders. He wanted to be Black Knights, but it's going to be something different.
That's a shit name.
See, I'm thinking you got to go with a hockey term and Vegas. You got to call them the Hookers, for Christ's sake. I mean, come on. Right? I mean, which I don't think, obviously that's not going to happen. But
you heard it here first.
Yeah, but we'll see what it ends up being called. It's going to come down to, there's really 3, I think, viable places. I think 2 will get teams. One is Quebec City, and there's always been a hankering for having another team in Canada. Seattle is another, and Las Vegas. So it could be an existing team. It could be an expansion team. It sounds like there's going to be a team, over 13,000 plus season ticket pledges, which is huge, and we'll see. So the application has been submitted.
Next one, question. This is a new Las Vegan. Tuck78 asks, what is the Spaghetti Bowl? I keep hearing about it on the traffic reports. I'll take this. It's hell. Next question.
Basically, Tuck, it's where the I-15 and the 95 get together downtown, and you've got people going north, south, east, and west. You're going from 5 lanes to 4 lanes to 3 lanes to, oh my God, my lane disappeared, to, holy shit, there's a viaduct in my way. Oh my God, I'm driving off the thing. Oh, there's Martin Luther King. Wait, there's Rancho. Holy shit, how do I get downtown? There's Cashman Center. There's Cashman Field. That guy's going 95 miles an hour. Welcome to the Spaghetti Bowl.
By the way, if you are one of those people who are looking for an accident, and who among us isn't it?
Right.
Here's what you want to do. Get on the 15 northbound from Sahara. So you go on Sahara, and what happens is that 15 goes, it compresses
Cameras
like hell.
Here. There you go.
Oh, hi. It goes, well, it's actually like, it was like pretending we're all driving. Come along with me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It does that. Or
Right.
I'm looking at Periscope in my one viewer.
Exactly.
I'm doing that.
Talk
And
to
so
3
what ends
people
up
over
happening? Okay, fuck. Oh, guys, all of a sudden he's a director. So I'm going north now, and more accidents per, I don't know, foot than anywhere else on any freeway is northbound on 15, right around Sahara, between Sahara and Charleston and 93. Fuck.
Yep.
It's a nightmare. So if you look, the reason why it's called a spaghetti bowl, by the way, Tuck, is that if you do an aerial view, look down,
Think of spaghetti.
it looks like spaghetti.
There's stuff going everywhere.
93 and 92 and 15. And
That's the people who are traveling.
It's
Because you don't just have 95 meeting the 15.
No.
You have Rancho.
Yeah.
You have Martin Luther King.
Yep.
You've got Casino Center.
93 comes out of that.
And you got all those things together, and you got on ramps and off ramps. And if you're coming north on 15 and you want to go on to 95 north, it's you're like
You gotta
you're
have-
climbing. It's like you're climbing. It's like I'm going up the Screaming Eagle, and I'm coming down this way.
Screaming
And if
Eagle.
now, since they expanded the road, if you're going into downtown from Summerlin, you're on 95 south, and you want to get on the 15 south, you have to get out like 2 miles in advance. If not, a big wall gets in your way.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't get there now.
Yep.
And then you think you're actually on. Vegas is really good at this. So if you're getting on to go 15 north from the 95, you're thinking, okay, I made it on the entrance ramp. But then there's another entrance from some other place. God knows where those people are coming from. It's like, where the fuck did they come from? And it's like 2 lanes at 80 miles an hour, and it literally, the merge is like 15 feet. It's like, It's a semi. Like, where did he come from? So he kind of came from like underneath a Bonanza or somewhere. You're like, where are these people coming from?
It's nuts. Oh, by the way, we got before our last question and for the live chat, we do have a kind of like a sneak in little live question from Binky51. She asked, "Hey, we bought BG tickets from KSHP. It was a great deal, $19 for a pair. Do we get good seats?"
Our seats are in the.
They're all of them.
They're the
so they got a super deal, $19 for a pair. That's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Hey, I believe
that's 80% off.
I believe that's Monica. Monica, go ahead and send those tickets to me. They're probably not very good. Just send them my way. I don't really know anybody there. I can't get a deal. Just send those $19, and maybe I'll pass along.
Danny has a question that needs to be answered. What was Danny's question?
Where is it? Oh, it's coming right now. Wait, what was your question?
What was your question, Danny? Scott tends to ignore you.
No, I don't. I just gave her a whole freaking thing. And wait till she's got wait till you hear her Haddam response. Her Haddam response is amazing. What was your question again, Danny? Real quick.
We're waiting.
We're waiting, Danny. No one's got any time for you.
Well, why don't you answer Chan's question?
All right. Chan asked a question. Speaking of pools, do you have problems with sandstorms messing up your pools? Well, we haven't really. I mean, look, it is pretty windy here, and it really depends on your backyard. Right. So if you've got a bunch of crap in it's the same thing with trees. So in our other place, we had a tree that dropped shit in our pool. You know what? That sucks. So if you're going to have a pool, don't have your tree drop shit in your pool. It's the same thing if you've got dirt and sand around it. It gets windier, especially during monsoon season, which is August, September timeframe. It's going to blow shit in your pool. But the truth is, like, for the two pools that I've had, I had an in-ground cleaner built in, those little things that pop up, which are amazing.
Pop-up cleaners, yep.
They're amazing.
They're very good.
I've never really had a problem with,
it's just a matter of making sure you clean out their basket.
Your
strainer, your whatever it's called.
But it hasn't really been a real problem. Okay, last question, Danny. If you could only ask an employee one question, what would it be on an interview? Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know. Here, you take that while I think about it.
Why in the hell would you want to work here?
My question is, are you a genie and can I rub your lamp? One question.
Mine would be, why do you want to work here?
Yep. Actually, that's a good one.
Or why do you think I would want to hire you?
Here's mine. And this is actually a great question. And this is
do you believe in having sex with the boss?
Because who doesn't?
Exactly.
Other than my wife. And sometimes she'll have none of it. So here's the question. I used to be, when I was in the corporate world, I was the hard interview. I was the tough guy.
Right.
And the question I would ask is, tell me a little bit about my company.
Right.
That's the question I'd ask. Because that tells me if they did any research or not. And you would be shocked how many people don't research the company they're interviewing with.
Right.
At any level. I mean, I was interviewing people who were directors and VPs, but when I was hiring people for Vegas Video Network, I'm like, well, tell me a little bit about the network. Cricket?
I don't know.
I saw your name. Are you out of your mind?
There's a girl that works for me now who's kind of like my second in command. She used to work on Wall Street, worked for a big brokerage house, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't interview the people, but I used to set them up for the interviews." Yeah. And I go, "What would you do?" She goes, "We put them into a conference room. We turn the air conditioning down, or we turn the heat up to about 104, and wait to see what they did. Or it'd be the middle of January, and we'd have the interview outside, and on the balcony on the 107th floor." And I go, and you did that for what reason?
Yeah.
Oh, because we want to see if they would stick up for themselves. If they'd say, you know what? Hey, what do you, it's like, it's fucking 112 degrees out here, or I'm freezing my ass off. Why are we out here? If a person actually sat there and took it, they never got hired.
Really?
Nope.
Isn't that interesting?
We don't want a yes person. We want somebody who actually can think for themselves and say, hey, is it me or is it 105 degrees in here?
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I love that.
Because we wanted people that were actually.
Well, that's the same thing with. Well, it's similar to the. What do you know about my company? If you're not paying, if you don't care enough to research my company, God damn it, that's a interview 101 thing.
Right.
Know who you're talking to. Well, actually, 101 is know who you're going to be interviewing with, and second, by the way, know the company that you're going to be interviewing with as well. That's kind of important. Yeah. So I think both of those are good. Oh man, I'm pretty. Is that right?
How old is that picture of Scott?
I could tell you. Ted could tell you too. That picture was taken at the joint Access Vegas Video Network shindig we had at Tropicana at a outside bar thing that no longer is with us. I believe we had something to do with that.
That was only 3 years ago, Ted says. 3 years ago?
Right?
That's it?
What do
you look about 15 years younger. I'm just saying.
You can go suck my...
That tells you what happens when you're working hard at the Vegas Video Network.
Yeah.
It's like being president. You come in looking good and you walk out 8 years later like you've been run over by a tractor.
There's a good chance that we're going to turn off his mic. Okay, hey, this is Have a Drink on Me. This is a part of the big show where I send a picture up on the big interweb and then you try to guess where I have been.
I just want you to know we're already over the total.
Yeah, I know. And there's a chance that you can win stuff. Tell them, Brett, what they can win.
Thanks, Scott. They can win all kinds of stuff, including the fabulous Vegas Video Network visor, which will soon be available in red.
One of them.
Along with black, just for one person.
Yeah.
Or fabulous original music from Scott Whitney, Good Jazzathon, and Chris McCoustic 1 and 2. Or the most fabulous gift, the one that is the most valuable of all, you can have a drink on Scott. It's all available for you. It slices and dices at Julien's. It's available for you at Ronco.
At the Vegas Video Network. Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's review last week's Have a Drink on Me. This was a hard one.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah, it was hard.
Right.
Of course it was. Oh, I forgot to say, wait a minute. But first, a look at the gallery of gods. Dong, 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 dong.
That's Pops.
There's Pops, and there's Sammy, and there's your husband if you're Melissa. There's Jackie, and there's Christina. These people are the coolest because they're gallery of gods. They all wear visors, and they make them look like... Hold on. You're very cool, and there is Wayne. He's looking pretty groovy. There is Mike Q. He's in the live chat. There is Danny. There is Michael, and... some other guy.
That's me.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
now,
the guy that makes the show go.
Yeah, he makes the show go backwards. Okay. So here is last week's Have a Drink on Me. Let's take a look at it, shall we?
That is a very busy spot.
It's a super busy spot. And the hints, of course, were stand by. There they were. The parlor at El Cortez. The parlor at El Cortez, and the parlor with the U at El Cortez, everybody. That's where it was. Okay.
And your other clue was the little
spider fly. Yeah. Said the spider to the... welcome to my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Thank you. I'll be here all week, by the way. Oh, yeah. He's very well read.
I knew that one at the time.
Okay, so first of all, the first time this has ever happened, it's happened today. This is from Steve I. Steve I, of course, is not eligible for this week because he won last week.
Oh, okay.
I asked him, Steve, what would you like? Would you like a visor? Would you like a drink on me? And Steve said, no.
No?
I want none of it.
I'm donating it to charity?
He is donating. What is he donating?
I don't know. What's he donating?
It is my dream, Steve says, to turn my Haddam win into a honey jack for the show.
A honey jack.
He says, by the way, there's no shipping, which is true. So Steve is the nicest guy whose name rhymes with guy. He's a Steve I, and he wants us to buy a honey jack for the show. So next week, we will have a honey jack here because of Steve I. Thank you, Steve.
So he sent you money to buy
No, he just said, instead of me buying or sending, I have to buy a fucking honey jack.
Okay.
And put it in the studio is what I'm having to do.
Okay.
So thank you, Steve. That was outstanding of you. You're going to heaven. But you can't play this week, so don't ever send something in.
Again.
I can't have you people cheating. You're like Pops. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll play. All right, here we go. Some big ones. Ready? First, the people who just send stuff in because they're just greedy. We've got Jackie, who I don't think she's in the live chat. She's not. Brian Leach. Is Brian in there today? Let me see if Brian is in there, it would appear. So, Brian, B-R-Y-O-N. Brian Leach.
Right.
David Timon. David Timon. Let me see if Dave's in there. David. I don't see Dave in there. All right. David gets a single. Oh, boy. Andy Schulman, who's from New Hampshire. I don't believe Andy is in the live chat. God bless your little heart. Tom Riddy. Tom's from Florida. I don't think he's in the live chat.
Nice. New Hampshire and Florida.
Bonnie, who is sometimes in the live chat as Blonde Forever. Let's see if she's in the live chat. I don't see her. Excellent. I don't mean excellent. She's not there. I'm just excellent that I was able to check.
We got you, Brian. We got you.
Got you, Brian. You're all set, brother. Eric Hansen. Eric Hansen, I think's in there.
Eric's there, yeah.
Eric, buddy.
Eric won like 2 weeks ago.
Did he win? Did he win? I don't think he did.
A couple weeks ago.
Did he win?
Yeah, he did.
God damn it, he's a cheater. All right, Eric's back in there. All right. Monica Fagan. We know Monica is in. She is Binky 51, as I recall. I like that Monica, she, like I said, she's played for many, many times, years and years and years, basically. And she's like, I've had enough. I got a double. Boom. And then Mark Stillman. We know Mark's in there because he is Tuck 78. Boink. Okay. Oh, wow, this is weird. My live chat just went disconnected. Awesome. That's nifty. All right. Wow, did yours do the same thing?
No, I'm still looking at mine.
Okay, good. Aaron Perry. Aaron says, "Hey, we enjoy the that particular place. We've hung out at that bar while staying at the Cabana Suites across the street. They have Cabana Suites?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we go to the big ones, the big long ones. Ready? First one. Gene Fulgen, who is Pops. We know Gene's in there.
Yep, Pops is here.
Gene writes.
Oh, Gene. Holy crap. Gene writes War and Peace.
Gene writes a lot.
Along with this week's entry, I would like to thank you for the big send-up of my selfie wearing the awesome black Vegas Video Network visor. It is both an honor and a privilege to be added to the group of gods. However, being a god is not without its responsibilities. Please remind the rest of the gods that the point was not to get the visor in their grubby little hands so they could take one selfie and then hang the thing on a hat rack or toss it in a drawer forever.
Right.
To truly deserve being all godly and stuff, you must wear the visor wherever appropriate and talk up the show. So wear it to the golf course, the casino, the bar. Wear it to the Russian spa. Okay, I made that up. The Russian bath. Maybe don't wear it to church or to Aunt Sally's funeral. And of course, you have to. I'm only halfway done, by the way. And of course, you have to use it as a conversation starter to spread the word about the Living in Las Vegas podcast in order to bring even more disciples into the flock. Danny gets it. Danny gets it. She already is taking the ball and running with it. All other gods should follow her example. And to those lurkers out there that are only watching but not following along in the live chat, not only are you missing out on the extra hadamentary that you get by being present, you're also missing half the show. There's so much stuff going on, it doesn't come through the broadcast at all. To make this, once again, overly long email just a little bit longer, this week's correct answer is the Parlor Bar at the El Cortez, where along with this excellent and personable floor personnel you talk about, they also have incredible cocktail service for the gamblers and the lowest table limits of any downtown property. Keep on preaching the gospel, and I'll keep trying to convert the masses. Thanks,
all right.
Pops.
Way to go.
Oxygen.
Right, next up.
Oxygen.
Alan Perry. Alan writes, had him for today is Parlor at El Cortez. I did not know about the Bugsy Seagull connection at the El Cortez. I thought he was mainly involved with the early days of Flamingo. Did a little research. We kind of break that on people. Found out that Jackie Gohan or Gahan or whatever his name is.
Jackie Gohan.
Gohan, is now gone. Recently passed away. He was a longtime owner of the El Cortez. Aaron and I have drinks at the Parlor a couple times while we're staying at the El Cortez Cabana Suites. Who knew? Across the street from the main casino. Enjoyed it very much. Also, we enjoy the show. Keep up the good work. You guys are awesome. And thank you, Alan. All right, so he's got in there.
I got the same issue you have.
Yep.
Just so you know.
So we're actually seeing a little internet connectivity problem. We're still recording this, so don't worry about that, guys. And people are back, it looks like. And yeah, it looks like we're back there too. Okay, good. All right, so Alan is done. Let's go back to our next person, Matt Easton from Edmonton, Canada. I'll read this one because I'm going to have you read Danny's. Matt says, the bar this week is the Parlor at El Cortez. I love Las Vegas, but live in Alberto, Canada. He might be in there. We had a Canada guy in there. I don't see him.
Alberta.
So only get to go out once a year. Show ideas. He has some show ideas for us.
Oh, okay. Nice.
One of them is, how about a segment on guy trips?
Okay.
Trips for the men.
Good idea.
I like that. I kind of did that last week when I took the boys to Fremont Street, but I like that idea. My wife and I recently learned Pai Gow poker. We talked about this last week and love it. Tying into customer service, I screwed up a high hand, low hand while learning Pai Gow, and the dealer at the Mirage went to bat for me with the pit boss. I won a bet I should have lost. As a result, my wife and I stayed there and spent $1,200 on our next trip there as well. Customer service there does matter. Thank you guys for all you do. Matt at Edmonton, Alberta.
And that's the thing. His bet was probably $20, $50.
Yeah.
Maybe it's $100 max. Maybe it's $1,000 bet.
Yep. Stuff matters.
It's not gonna make a difference to the casino.
It matters.
It's gonna matter to the person that they're trying to strong arm. And if they do the right thing, you're gonna get that customer for life.
You're absolutely true. And our final one from Danny Ackerman. Danny, God bless her little heart, who's in the live chat, so we're gonna double her up. Oh. Danny has written arguably
the second longest email in history.
Well, it's a long one, but it's probably one of the best.
We're still here, Pops. The only thing you missed, Pops, was us reading your email, just so you know.
We did read your email, Pops. Yeah, we're back. Had a little bit of an internet problem, but I think we're all on track again. Looks like we're okay. This email is from Danny Ackerman, and she writes it as a poem.
Oh, good Lord. Does it rhyme?
It does.
It does. Oh, boy.
Dr. Seuss.
Oh, you think you are tricky and witty, but wait, your viewers are clever and can't figure out your bait. Although I don't think this bar has a winding stair, the televisions could be considered pretty things as long as there's no glare. I hope you didn't consider us flies and unsuspecting bait as we enter Haddam week to week and diligently wait for Brett to pull the winning name. I hope it's mine, because getting you to buy me drinks is on the list of sublime.
Nice.
Okay, enough of silliness. The answer you await. It's the parlor in the El Cortez, downtown Las Vegas. Ah, great.
Nice.
Did you get the firecracker drink, the best in July, or did you stick with gin and tonic? Aye. To my fellow chat talkers and viewers so cool, we should all congregate at the Arches at Whitney Villa Pool. At least tip your hats, or Vegas Video Network visors, as it were, to the great job you guys do each week with the info so pure. Cough, cough, cough.
There it is.
I'm sure I butchered that, Danny, but well done.
Very well done.
I did not do well in my poetry
Nicely
class.
done, Danny.
I do
Thank
believe
you.
I added Danny in here already.
I think you did.
Yes, I did.
All right. Okay, let's take the hat and discover our winner for this week.
All right, this winner shall be
A Drink on Me. We're back from a big break.
I don't know. Danny, did you wash your face yet? Was that charcoal on your face? What'd you use, Danny?
What was that? What was the magic of the video there? Okay, here we go.
I'm going to go with, it was probably charcoal.
I think so.
Black makeup, maybe?
Yeah, maybe charcoal.
I'm going down deep.
Okay, here we go.
It is the winner. It is in my handwriting.
Uh-oh. So again,
I do believe it is a repeat winner.
Oh, proving that if you are in the live chat, you double your chances of winning. The winner is...
Double your fun, double mint gum. It's Pops!
Holy Christ, the guy is like...
He's on fire!
He's on me like...
Flies on, you know what?
I don't know what to do. All right,
Pops is the winner. Now, Pops already has the Vegas Video Network visor.
Pops does have the visor. God bless his little heart. This again is Pops. There he is. Hi, Pops. What you doing, brother? Okay, and what does he win again? Ah, shit, we'll tell him later. Okay, here we go. Let's go. So he wins. Well, go ahead and tell him. What does he win, Steph?
Well, not another visor. Well, Pops did made a very nice case for the visor, so perhaps he needs another one to give one away. Or Pops can now listen to music as he falls asleep as Scott drops all his stuff. Good jazzathon. Chris Acoustic 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, or a drink on Scott.
Okay.
There you go.
I dropped my CD over there. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it later. Like everything else. Okay. Let's look at today's. Congratulations again, Pops. Here we go. Here's today's Have a Drink on Me. Boink.
Ooh, that is looking familiar.
This is.
I think I know what that is.
Do you really?
I do.
You know, but you looked at the notes.
No, I did not. You always say
Don't look at the notes.
I'm not looking at the notes.
Write down what you think it is over there. Without looking. Did you look at the notes? You looked at the notes.
I'm telling you, I know what it was before.
Let's see. Holy crap, you're right.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That's impressive.
Take that.
Wow. Okay, hint number 1.
Brett got it right.
Yeah. Hint number 1, Brett got it right.
2,
What
holy
in the
shit,
hell?
Brett got it right.
How did that happen? I've been there. I wouldn't be able to pick that place up. Okay, hint number 1. This is where Melissa discovered the concept of a Red Bull alcohol drink, and specifically the drink is Love Potion number 9.
Love Potion number 9.
Love Potion number 9. By the way, Pops is looking for an autographed copy of Gajazathon.
Oh, I'll be happy to autograph it for you.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It's some of my best work.
Wouldn't that be funny? Brett who? What the fuck's he doing? Okay. So number 1, Melissa discovered Love Potion number 9, a Red Bull-based drink here. Number 2, they have a beach associated with this bar/nightclub. They have a beach associated with this bar/nightclub. And number 3, there is a 20-foot Buddha floating in an indoor pool at this particular restaurant. So it's both a bar, a restaurant, and a nightclub, and a beach. It's 4 things.
Wow.
Last one, again, 20-foot Buddha floating on an indoor pool. If you know what this place is, and Brett does, so you might want to give him a call, you're going to send your email to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Okay, we're done. We will never read an email again.
Ever again.
I really want to.
So much for the over 90 and a hook. We went this is like the longest show ever. This is almost the longest show ever. Pretty close.
We get up pretty close. It's pretty weird. Okay, hey, if you want to reach out to us, here's how you do it. On our queue at livinginlv.com. Again, on our queue at livinginlv.com. How about you? You know what? I want to hear your voice. I want to hear the dulcet tones that are your voice. And here's how you do it. You go to our website, vegasvideonetwork.com. You see that little red tab on the right-hand side? Look what happens if you click it. A little thing pops up and it says, hey, start recording. You can leave us a voicemail without ever...
With your radio shopping show questions. Is this a shopping show?
Right, we got one of those. Yeah, I ordered $19 tickets to Australian BeeGees, and I want to know, are the seats any good? Yeah, we'll help you with that. Anyway, so yeah, you click on that red tab, it brings that thing up there, and you're going to be able to do all kinds of groovy things like that. All right, by the way, you can check us out on iTunes. We'd like for you to leave us a 5-star review and tell people you love it. On YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Or you can find us on KSHP. Nope. I got to take that out because I'm tired of taking out all of Brett's cuss words. We're on the Roku, 31,264 installations. That's 100 more than the last time I checked. We're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Chromecast, Apple TV, Google TV, Fire TV, Vegas Video Network, and Facebook, and of course, Twitter. I'm your host, Scott Whitney. That there is Brett Grant. We are so happy that you guys got to hang out with us, partly because we are awesome. Fantastic. Okay.
And Scott is awesome. Although he is the douche.
Oh, that's fucked up. Like you're fired, you cocksucker. All right. It's a good thing that we're all together, right? Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I only speak the truth.
Blow me.